Hello, it's Lisa from Juno Compost. Just wanted to do another crop highlight. This one is on gooseberries, which I love to no end. They're perennial, they're woody, they grow like crazy, they make lots of berries that are kind of sour. You can eat them when they're green and they're really sour. You can wait for them to turn deep purple and they're less sour. So right here, I just made a new raised bed this week, and I'm dividing up my gooseberry plants, which are probably, I don't know, 6 or 7 years old maybe, and they are very wild. And so here's one. This one is one of the bigger ones. You can see it's about the size of my finger, the thickness of the branches. But what happens is they send up all these crazy shoots. They get really long, and when they get heavy with fruit, they'll kind of bend down, and then sometimes they bend down and touch the soil, and where that happens, they'll root, and then the tip will straighten up and you'll get a new plant growing. And then also, like this one is really dense. I had a lot of plants that filled in and packed together, so there's a bunch of dead branches in the middle that I'm just gonna clear out. But like over here, you can see this one that got cut because this branch is one of those ones that rooted, went down, and I cut the other plant off. But that's one of the great things about gooseberries, because you can really expand your patch. And so looking over here at these smaller ones, these were just ones that, yeah, rooted off of this one, and I broke them up and I planted them over there. And so I started with 4 plants, and I probably am gonna get, I would say, a dozen, but probably way more, actually way more, because I just healed those in on the side, because I'm obviously gonna need to make a new bed for those guys, and I'll probably give some away. Another thing you can do is just take a cutting, and so if you just get like cut the tip of this branch off right here and then stick it in really moist soil, it will root. And I'm really bad at remembering to water these things, and so what I do is I stick them in the muck. I have kind of this little creek that runs here when it rains, and along here there's things that like it very wet: marsh marigold, skunk cabbage, and forget-me-nots. And so like there's a gooseberry right there, and so that was just a cutting last year. I cut it, stuck it in the muck, and here it is back again. And that's worked really well for me. And then a lot of times I'll pull them up and then pot them and then move them somewhere else in my garden. And so this year I'm branching out and I'm trying that same thing with currants, which I've never done before. I haven't ever been able to just root currants by layering. And so I just cut some red, white, and black currants today and stuck them in the muck, and we'll see how they do. But yeah, I can't say enough about gooseberries. This one is as tall as me, or it's actually a little taller than me, and it's maybe 4 feet wide, and this was from a cutting that is probably 3 years old, I think. And I grow it in nothing but compost and sand and seaweed, and then I top dress it with mulchy compost or composty mulch, or just the thicker stuff that sifts out of compost that you make at home. I put that on every spring, and in the fall I put seaweed if I get around to it. And that's it. Doesn't need any fertilization, and you get prolific crops. Just gotta watch out for the thorns.